Jacob's dream, the ladder reaching to heaven. Based on the Bible, Genesis 28:10-22. Introduction. The story of Jacob's dream, where he saw a ladder reaching up to heaven, is one of the most powerful and symbolic visions recorded in the Bible. This dream marked a turning point in Jacob's life, showing not only a divine promise but also a glimpse into the connection between heaven and earth. Found in the book of Genesis, chapter 28, it is a story of fear, hope, revelation, and transformation. Background. Jacob was the son of Isaac and the grandson of Abraham, both major patriarchs in the biblical tradition. He had a twin brother named Esau. While Esau was a rugged hunter and favored by their father, Jacob was more reflective and close to their mother, Rebekah. One day, as their father Isaac grew old and blind, he planned to give Esau his final blessing, a sacred tradition. However, with Rebekah's help, Jacob disguised himself as Esau and received the blessing instead. This deception caused great anger in Esau's heart. He vowed to kill Jacob after their father died. Rebekah, learning of this, urged Jacob to flee to her brother Laban's house in Haran, far away from Esau's wrath. Thus began Jacob's long journey, not just physically across lands, but spiritually toward a deeper relationship with God. The journey begins. Jacob left his home in Beersheba and traveled toward Haran. He was alone, fleeing from danger and uncertainty. As night fell during his journey, Jacob stopped to rest in a desolate place. With no bed or roof, he took a stone and used it as a pillow, lying down under the stars. This simple, rugged setting would soon become one of the holiest moments of his life. The dream. That night Jacob had a dream, not an ordinary dream, but a divine vision. He saw a great ladder set up on the earth, with its top reaching into heaven. Angels of God were ascending and descending on it. At the very top of the ladder stood the Lord himself. And the Lord said, "I am the Lord, the God of Abraham your father and the God of Isaac. The land where you are lying I will give to you and your descendants. Your descendants will be like the dust of the earth. They will spread out to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. Through you and your offspring all the peoples of the earth will be blessed. I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go. I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I promised you." Genesis 28:13-15. Meaning and significance of the dream. Jacob's dream was not only a personal message of comfort, but a divine confirmation of the covenant made with Abraham and Isaac. Now, God was extending that same promise to Jacob. The ladder represented a connection between heaven and earth, a spiritual highway between God and mankind. The angels symbolized God's presence, messengers who carry out his will. The dream revealed that even in isolation and fear, God was present and active. The promises God made in the dream included: the land Jacob was lying on would belong to his descendants. His offspring would be countless and spread in all directions. All nations would be blessed through him, a prophecy that points to the coming of Christ through Jacob's lineage. Divine protection, God would watch over him wherever he went. Return and fulfillment, God would bring Jacob back and complete all he had said. Jacob's reaction. When Jacob woke up, he was awestruck. He said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it. How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God. This is the gate of heaven." Early the next morning, Jacob took the stone he had used as a pillow, set it up as a pillar, and poured oil on it, an act of consecration. He named the place Bethel, which means house of God. Previously, it was called Luz. This was Jacob's first recorded encounter with God, and it left a deep impact on him. Jacob's vow to God. Moved by this divine encounter, Jacob made a vow. "If God will be with me and will watch over me on this journey I am taking, and will give me food to eat and clothes to wear, so that I return safely to my father's household, then the Lord will be my God. And this stone that I have set up as a pillar will be God's house, and of all that you give me, I will give you a tenth." Genesis 28:20-22. This vow was not a bargain, but a personal commitment. Jacob was expressing his intention to honor God and acknowledge his provision. Spiritual meaning. Jacob's dream is filled with deep spiritual truths. It teaches God is near even in isolation. Jacob was alone in a desert, yet God revealed himself. He is never far from those who seek him. Heaven is connected to earth. The latter shows that heaven is not a distant place. It is connected to the lives of people through divine presence and purpose. God's covenant continues. The promises made to Abraham were alive and continuing through Jacob, eventually leading to the birth of a great nation, Israel. Personal transformation. This dream marked the beginning of Jacob's spiritual journey. He would go on to face many trials, but this promise gave him strength and purpose. Foreshadowing in the New Testament. This dream is also referenced in the New Testament. In the Gospel of John 1:51, Jesus tells Nathanael, "Very truly I tell you, you will see heaven open, and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man." Jesus was showing that he is the ladder, the bridge between God and humanity. Just as the ladder in Jacob's dream connected earth to heaven, Jesus connects us to God through his life, death, and resurrection. The ladder as a symbol. Throughout Christian theology, the ladder in Jacob's dream has been viewed as a symbol of spiritual ascent. It represents prayer, divine connection, the journey of faith, the presence of God among us, the church as the Bethel or house of God. Saints and scholars over centuries have written about this dream, seeing in it the mystery of God's love reaching down to humanity and lifting us up to him. Jacob's life after the dream. After the dream, Jacob continued to Haran. There he met his uncle Laban, married his daughters Rachel and Leah, and fathered 12 sons, the ancestors of the 12 tribes of Israel. Years later, God called him back to Canaan, just as he promised. Jacob returned, reconciled with Esau, and became the patriarch of a great nation. His name was later changed to Israel, meaning, he who struggles with God. This transformation began that night, when he dreamed of a ladder and heard the voice of God. Lessons for today. 1. God is with us even when we feel alone. Jacob was on the run in fear with nothing but a rock for a pillow, yet God met him there. No matter where we are, God sees and knows us. 2. God's promises are sure. What God promised Abraham, he promised Isaac and then Jacob. He keeps his word through generations. 3. Heaven is not far away. God is not distant or silent. The latter shows us that he sends his angels, his word, and ultimately his Son to be close to us. 4. Our spiritual journey begins with a personal encounter. Jacob's faith became real after this dream. The same is true for us. We need our own encounter with God. 5. Worship and commitment matter. Jacob set up a pillar and made a vow. True faith responds to God with worship, obedience, and dedication. Conclusion. Jacob's dream of a ladder to heaven is one of the most beautiful and meaningful stories in the Bible. It teaches us about God's nearness, his promises, and his plan for redemption. It reminds us that even in the wilderness of life, God reveals himself, speaks to us, and sets us on a new path. From a lonely traveler with a stone pillow to the father of a nation, Jacob's transformation began with a dream that still inspires millions today.